Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv. /Ice Cream Emporium. I'm not going to do that all the way through because we will be here for hours and hours and hours. As you can see on screen, my name is Graham Day, and I am joined by Baby. I usually give you the deep voice, and I wanted the deep voice this morning. So
it's alright, mate, because by the looks of my no beard, it's like I'm being back to a child again.
Do you know? I'm not even going to zoom in for this point in time. Just look at Baby's little face.
Sick of it. I've got such a round, fat head as it is. Like the beard used to give it a little bit of, I don't know, different direction, but now it's just fucking Cal Pilkington, isn't it?
The thing is, I forever had no stubble whatsoever. I have stubble more often than not now, just because it's easier. I could hear my own voice. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. But yeah, if I get rid of the stubble now, you just get like Chinnigan. It's like, okay, well, let's keep it there.
I've got like a turkey neck going on here, a gobble gobble or whatever they call them.
Oh, why?
Oh, I welcome. I don't know what I did at the weekend.
Just want to point out, so obviously Bibby's got like completely different shape to his head without no beard, and I am just a floating head.
Yeah, you have no upper body.
I thought I will show you guys a little bit of a closer look at the
it's so bad, like I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, I thought I would show you guys the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts insert coin hoodie this morning, but obviously with it being camouflage, you guys can't see it, so you just have to assume that I'm wearing a snow print camouflage hoodie, and then we will just go ahead with that. But anyway, apart from losing all of your facial hair, what did you get up to this weekend, babe?
So I went to my friend Alpi's on Friday straight after work because he has begun. Most of you who've been watching any of my streams over the last couple of months will know that I've been streaming with a bloke called Alpi, a very good friend of mine that we grew up together. And he started streaming, so I went around to his house to give him like a tutorial on how to use Streamlabs OBS, set up a few things for him. So we've more or less been streaming either on this channel, his channel, or both, playing Football Manager over the weekend. Football Manager 19 with the 2003-2004 database. And again, those of you that have been watching this channel for long enough will know that last time I played in this database, it didn't end too well.
Is that where you got fired?
It's where I got fired, yeah.
Spoilers!
It's where I got fired. But this time I've taken over the mighty Bolton Wanderers, and he's which is just avoid relegation, which is perfect for me because it means that I only have to win like 10 games in the season and I'm set for the next year. But he's chosen to be Man City. I don't know why. But he's fourth at the moment, so yeah, that's pretty much all I played this week. I haven't played much else. I watched a lot of American Horror Story.
I was just tweeting from twitter.com/Graham_Day. That's me. But I was just retweeting the Ice Cream Uploads tweets. So make sure you go there if you're watching. Do that so we can bring more people in. We can have more of a discussion. But guess what I played. Ding, 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 ding.
I was just about to, but I was just releasing a burp at the same time.
Release the burp. I played PUBG, funnily enough. Although I'm at that point now where because I'm a Yorkshireman and extremely tight, I've paid for the season pass for PUBG. Like level 49 out of 100, so there's still like 8 weeks left, whatever. So I'm well on course to finish it, as I always do. But I'm just kind of at the point where I think, it's so painful to play at the moment, so do I stick with it right now, or do I just have some time away from it so I don't hate it? So I keep thinking, so I look in my library and I've got like Spider-Man sat there on my PS4, God of War sat there on my PS4, all of the Horizons, all the big story games, then Death Stranding's there as well, and we've got Overcooked 2 for me and Danielle to play through, and I'm thinking, do I just start on one of these games now? But because I've invested in the season pass, part of me's thinking, I just want to get to level 100 and then we can shelve it then for the last 2 weeks of the season. And but yeah, anyway, so I played a bit of PUBG, but just enough to tick off my dailies and then usually turn it off because it's like pulling teeth at the moment. Unless you're an Xbox player, then by then you just kind of like
you're level 100 already.
You just float into the level.
How many weeks of the season is there left?
I think there's like 63 days left or something like that. So it's about 8 weeks.
So past Christmas then?
Yeah, probably. But I usually get my season finished with probably about 3 weeks to spare.
Oh, okay. So that's when you're playing every single night. Jesus. You hear that then?
have you ever seen?
I'm just falling apart. I've got no beard. I've got spots on my head.
You ever seen Police Academy? No. The guy that talks like that. That's what you sound like. Oh. Moving to the Can you create a dashboard?
Oh no, I didn't click on that, but Alpha told me not to because it looks shocking.
Oh, it's really good though from someone that uses it as a streaming point of view, because the issue that I have with, let's talk about the Twitch dashboard. So if you're going to the Twitch dashboard as a creator, you can see things like how many people are watching now. You can see a stream preview. You've got all the buttons to do things like to see who's hosting your channel, and a lot of that stuff's cool. But when you're live, it's kind of like I don't care. I don't want to know who's hosting me right now, because whilst that's good, I'd rather high five people when they host me, but after the fact, it's not pertinent to the stream. People interacting with me in the chat, so having the chat there and being able to use functions is so. Yeah, when I just scrolls it down to this, I've got the activity feed, so I can see if someone has subbed or followed or subscribed or whatever. I've got the chat there, so I can interact with you guys in the chat. We have a video preview, and then I've got all of the functions there, so I can just edit the stream, or I can start the stream, or I can raid someone or whatever. So it just gets rid of all of the bump. And the issue for me with the creator dashboard is it's because it's available to be modified and moved around. That's all well and good, but when I'm on a big screen at home and then I'm on my Surface laptop, it squashes it down, and then things that were on the screen suddenly go off the bottom of the screen, so are off the side. So this is just...
That's the problem I have with Streamlabs OBS at the moment, because I've got an old monitor from like 7 or 8 years ago. It's like a proper Samsung one, still decent, but the resolution isn't anywhere close to what it's like on my main monitor, which I got from Argos. It's like a really good ASO one. So when I put Streamlabs on this now, because they've changed the format of that, and it's like a big screen at the top, and then your scenes at the bottom, and in the middle it has people who've hosted with you or whatever. The screen part of it just takes up like 70% of my screen.
See, I don't mind that. I like having a confidence monitor at the side, just so, because most of my interaction is like just doing things like if we're doing the scoop and sticking baby on the shelf. I like to be able to see that sort of stuff. So that way I have the screen on my side, which when I'm streaming at home, I've got 3 screens. So the screen on my side is usually Bibby's face, full screen, which is what I then capture off Discord videos, put through Streamlabs. The middle screen is whatever I'm looking at, so the news article or things like that, and then the side screen is Streamlabs OBS, so that has my confidence monitor and the functions for changing.
But see, you used to have a confidence monitor still in there, but it used to be quite small in towards the bottom, which suited me, because you could use the slider to magnify it to make it bigger if you wanted to. So it was a lot more customizable, but this isn't really. You just have to slide it up and down, but it doesn't go as small as you want it to.
Oh, see, it
might just because of the size of the monitor that I've got, though. That is probably the issue.
What size is it?
21. I think I've got a 24 that I play on, but that one's only 21.
Yeah, mine's like a 24.5 to be exact. But then that I have the Twitch chat coming on the side, the preview at the top, then the channels and stuff down the bottom, and then so I get quite a lot on there, and it's just kind of a decent size ratio. It's not stupidly sized, because if it's too big, then you've got all those little bits at the bottom. It's all lost. Anyway, moving back to the weekend, I obviously played a bit of PUBG, looked at playing some other things, didn't, but then put a lot of time into watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Have you ever watched it?
I absolutely loved it.
It's class.
I think I've only watched like the first 4 or 5 seasons. I think they're on to like season 8 now, maybe.
They've just greenlit season 8, as in like last week they announced that season 8 has been greenlit. But I think there's only 5 seasons on Netflix. So we started it last week, and we're like 15 episodes into season 3. But the good thing is it's like 20 episodes a season, but it's like 20 minutes an episode, so it's just so easy to watch.
I love Andy Samberg. That's the reason why I started watching it in the first place.
I've never, apart from, I've seen him and Brooklyn Nine-Nine clips before, but I just...
You never heard The Lonely Islands?
No. No.
You never would have watched Hot Rod or anything then, would you, as well? That's My Boy with Adam Sandler. He played his son in that. Mate, there's so much that you need to catch up on if you like his stuff.
I literally had never heard of him before. I thought it must have been like something before, because obviously to have a show that has all of the cast that are in like Parks and Rec and all the rest like that, and Terry Crews like in and all the way through it, he's clearly got some influence, and he's a producer on the show as well. You see that when the credits are coming up, like starring Andy Samberg, produced by Andy Samberg. Yeah,
well, he was massive in America, because he used to host Saturday Night Live and stuff like that as well with his crew.
I knew him from that, and that's where obviously that humour and everyone else has come from. But hello! I'm more like hello.
Yeah, hello.
The funny thing, actually, morning Dad and I Gavin. The thing with that hello emo is when you go into anyone else's chat the good thing about having it is we can use it as a way to go, hi, I'm here, and I've got my own emotes, yay! But different people say it in different ways. Oh, hello! I've had, oh, hello! So, yes, there we go. But yeah, Andy Samberg, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've kind of been aware of it for ages because of one specific clip. The one where he's got them in the lineup and he's like, so do you know which one it is? It's like, they're doing like a police lineup and he's talking to a woman.
Yeah, I know which.
And he's like, do you know which one it is? It's like, I don't remember. All I know is he was singing I Want It That Way. Do you know the song by the Backstreet Boys? It's like, yeah, I know. And then he's like, number one, can you sing the opening lyrics to I Want It That Way? And he's like, sure. And he's like, you are... my fire. Number two, take me away. The one.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's fucking, and then at the end, like, it's like chills, real chills. And it's like, number five, he's the man that killed my brother. He's like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. So, yeah, I saw that anyway ages ago. It was actually to Robbie Ron, the Legend of the Pez scene. We did... I can't remember what it was, an event years ago, and we had like Backstreet Boys lyrics in the event Bible, and he saw it, so like whenever I see him I sing that song to him now, so I shared that with him. Anyway, moving on. Before we do, I've not even said who we are, what we're doing. My name is Graham Day. This man is the Bib, the beardless wonder.
Yeah, 12-year-old Bib is back. I've time travelled.
And we are just a few members of Ice Cream Uploads. We have a huge team. We play games, we do everything on the channel, but Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. UK time, we bring you The Scoop. That is our take on the news from the games industry and beyond. We bring you our thoughts and we invite discussion. So if you guys are live here on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads, feel free to get involved in the chat. We want to know what you think about what we think. I think? Do you think? I think. And like I say, you guys are important because you guys are the only ones that get to interact. Because I say that this show gets turned into a podcast that we put live on YouTube a little bit later on today. And for those of you that only have access to audio services, we put it on an audio podcast services too. There's 4 of them: iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play.
Nailed it.
And yeah, the show will be available on all of those a little bit later on today. But like I said, those guys, on demand, yeah, they get the benefits of listening when they want, but you guys get to interact with us right now. So if you're live, say hello in the chat. Feel free to get involved and tell us what your thoughts are about our thoughts. I'm bringing a snood in for the rest of the week, I've just decided. Get one of the Sniper Ghost Warrior snoods.
That's a very good shout.
There we go. Speaking of which, I'm wearing this. You may have seen Friday morning, Friday's episode of The Scoop. Myself and Booberino. We did a couple of unboxings. I mean, Bibby unboxed our Office Google Stadia, which is now on fire in the corner somewhere, but we will come back to that a little bit later on. But I unboxed the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts press kit. Obviously, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts came out on Friday, and I unboxed all of the press kit, which included this beautiful hoodie, which you guys can't see because it's camouflage. You have to just assume it's there. So yeah. Anyway, jumping into the news. We are going to start with...
the big one.
The big one. Baby has no beat. Oh, no, not that one. Now that Death Stranding is out, Kojima's thoughts are turning back to horror. Baby has no beard. Horrific news!
I'm literally just going to stay like this for the rest of the stream.
I'm literally going to mention it every 2 minutes. Just
That's fine.
Just say. Oh, that second noise was my hat. Sorry, guys.
This is an ASMR stream.
Have you ever wondered what it'd sound like to have a hat rubbing against your microphone? That's what it is. Very nice hoodie, says Tangzera. How you doing, Roy? Congratulations on the launch of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. There's absolutely no way that I couldn't come in wearing the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts.
Congrats, mate.
So yes. Moving back to the news. Death Stranding creator Hideo Kojima has revealed he's watching horror movies again with a view to making the scariest horror game. This is from Vikki Blake at Eurogamer. Vikki Bake. Wow, Greg's on the mind.
I tried not to laugh.
I could hear it.
It's not Range Rover Fringe again, is it?
Jeep Barnett says hello. In a tweet on his personal Twitter account, Kojima admitted that whilst developing PT, the playable teaser that turned out to be a secret announcement for an all-new Silent Hill game, Silent Hills, he rented Thai horror The Eye, but it was too scary to finish watching. He also admitted that he was so scared by the cover, he rented the disc only.
What a mad ass.
So, I'm sorry, mate, I don't want the case, just give me the disc. As to make the scariest horror game, I'll watch the scary movies in order to awaken my horror soul, Kojima tweeted. Thanks, VG247. The Eye is the Thai horror movie I rent when making PT, but it was too scary to finish watching. The package is scary, so I rented the disc only. Will I be able to finish watching? That was the tweet. The interesting bit here is that Kojima's readily admitting he's trying to awaken his horror soul. Does that mean Kojima's next project will see him revisit his terrifying early collaboration with pals Guillermo del Toro and Junji Ito? It won't be Silent Hill, per se, of course. Silent Hill remains a Konami IP, and Kojima parted from the company very publicly several years back, but it looks like something horrifying might be on its way. Hey, watch this space, eh? I read that. I wanted to say that in a very Canadian sort of way. That's what it's about.
What are you talking about?
Anyway. So, Kojima obviously can tell a story, obviously can direct a game, and in my opinion, and I don't have the level of knowledge that Bibby does when it comes to scary games, Kojima has made the scariest game that I have ever played in PT. And it wasn't even a game, it was, obviously, as it said there, PT stands for Playable Teaser, so it was a teaser of the functions that could be. It was more like a technological demonstration, and it scared the shit out of me. So him getting back into playing... creating a horror masterpiece would be an absolute insta-cop. I would be all over that. I mean, I'm assuming you're not. I mean, you'd have to kind of pretend that you're into the horror games genre, but...
This is the direction that I think he should have taken straight after he left Konami, rather than going into doing this Death Stranding stuff, because, fair play, commercially it's probably Death Stranding is going to be a success regardless. Like, it hasn't hit number one. I don't think it finished number one in a week yet to be the number one selling game of the week, but it's going to be in the top 5, maybe top 10 for, I imagine, quite a while. However, critically, his games do quite well. PT being probably the second more. Layers of Fear for me is still probably the scariest game that I've played.
Downloaded, by the way, it's on my PC.
And that's, again, it all comes down to the time that the game came out, how I was playing it, where I was playing it, blah, blah, blah. So PT was amazing. It was so good, and everybody at the end, no one knew that it was Norman Reedus and it was going to be a Silent Hills game. So again, it brought you in with that, and it's just such a shame that we never got to explore the fully fledged version of that. Now, if they was to go and create another PT or another scary game, he's already got that vision in his head, I imagine, of where he wanted to take the original Silent Hills game before he started messing about with the PT stuff. The way that, like you said, he directs his games, he puts all the thoughts, every little small piece of information that he wants you to see or he wants you to find out 10 years later will be in the game somewhere. And he needs to bring out something like this to try and get him back on track, because for me, again, I do enjoy his Metal Gear Solid games, but I'm never going to play the Death Stranding purely because of what it looks like to me. It just looks like an adventure game, a delivery game. There's probably a hell of a lot more to it, but it just doesn't look like it's a game that interests me. However, anything else that he's probably going to do is probably going to interest me.
I mean, I love the fact that we're talking about horror games again, and I love the fact that it's been taken seriously as a genre again. Not, like I said, not that I'm massively well versed in them, because I got swept away in the bit. The reason why I love that we're talking about them credibly as a genre again is because I got so used to us talking about, there is another scary game, just in the same way that, I mean, we talk about PT and we spoke about, is it Allison Road, and there was like a few other versions. We even covered the last PT remake a couple of weeks back, a PC.
There's a redevelopment of PT, wasn't it? Yeah.
So, I mean, but you get a lot of that in horror games. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's wider than horror games. But in my experience, from what I've seen, you get a lot more copycat stuff happening in horror games than you do in any other genre. So someone will make a scary film, and we have massive loads of scary films. Someone makes a scary game. Loads of scary games. Someone does a one house rerouted thing like Kojima did, as just because the reason it just had that one
hallway
corridor, basically an L-shaped corridor with some steps that went down. So basically, the reason he did that was because you don't have to skin up loads of different rooms. Your level design time and resources for development is so much lower. But then people go, ooh, this confined space stuff, let's all do a room scary thing, and you get so much of it, and it's just like, oh.
Well, there's always two different types of horror games. There's one that's going to be jump scares and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm going to say there's three. You have one that's going to have cheap jump scares. There's one that's going to be zombie led, where it's just hordes and hordes of zombies or whatever. And then the third one is a psychological horror. Now, I like the fact that all this psychological horror is coming back.
Donald Duck's in the studio,
Duck, yeah. I like the fact that the psychological horror is coming back, because that's the scariest part of horror for me. It's when you're watching a horror film, you expect the music to tell 70% of the story. The actions that come on the screen, fair enough, but the music will always build up to the next action.
Or the lack of music. It's that atmosphere. But yeah, the fact that we've got... We spoke about Resident Evil 2 winning awards, Ultimate Game of the Year. Resident Evil 3 is unconfirmed, but could potentially be in the pipeline. And now Kojima's looking at potentially getting back into it as well. We're getting past that. He's good! Sorry, guys, I may have just... Into
the arch shoulder. Nice one, Graham.
Car's trashed, kids crying. Thanks, Graham. But yeah, we get past that cheap... I mean, I do like a good jump scare, don't get me wrong, and I particularly like watching other people playing jump scares, but nothing hits. It's like playing a game, any game. Give me some middle of the road naff game that, all right, and that was pretty cool and easy to do, job's good. And but then playing a game like, I mean, the ones I've mentioned that I've still got to play, the Spider-Mans, the Horizon Zero Dawn, the God of Wars, they just hit harder. It's the same sort of thing, but more powerful, more meaningful. Yeah. And that for me is what the psych genre of horror is. It's like, okay, you've got jump scares. Okay, scared, then it's gone. But like the psych horror is like, I know I'm scared, and I know I'm gonna be scared, so I'm now scared about being scared. And
that's it. You're always trying to think like. You can see, I'll use Layers of Fear for example. When you're walking around with Layers of Fear, stuff starts to move beside you, but because it happens so much, you don't know whether or not it is going to be a jump scare or you're just going to carry on going through and you go through the door at the end. But it could be that you get to the door at the end, the door doesn't unlock, you try to turn the handle and it just makes the lock sound. You turn around, the corridor's completely different from what it was before. You walk forward to that door unlocks, but then it's the same corridor that you've been down, but a plant pot comes flying at your face, or a picture in front of you changes or something like that. But that's the terrifying part about it, because the music's leading you there to believe that what you're about to walk into is going to be a jump scare, but it's not. They've just fooled you. Yeah. So it's all about headphones on, noise cancelling.
Completely.
That's it. Fully immersive.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I mean, like the same way, I've never played Layers of Fear, but the same way sort of thing with PT. The fact that you're going around this circuit, and it's not a circuit because it's not a full circle. You start off at one end of a room and you go in a door, which then brings you back in the other end of it. So it's not a circuit. I'm going in an L shape. It's not. I'm going round, and so that instantly kind of like goes, well, this isn't quite right, and it looks exactly the same. But then it starts to not look exactly the same, and things are different, and it's like, okay, there is no logic, there's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no. I'm upset now at the fact that everything that my brain tells me should be happening is not happening, and then like stuff like when you'll see like there was a bit where there was a door kind of like cracked open, and you're like, I know something's going to happen there, and you go, oh no, what's happened there? Sorry again, guys. By the way,
when you're walking down the corridor in PT and you can hear that baby crying, or what you think the baby's crying, and you walk through and it's just like a little like alien fetus thing. Yeah. He's like, oh god, I don't need any of this. Just get me out of here. I don't want to play it. But yeah, anything that starts to make you feel uncomfortable and really unsettling. That's what I like. It's so weird that I like feeling like that, but it's because I've grown up playing games like that. There isn't that many games that do it that well.
Do you know what? I mean, absolute spoilers, by the way, but for PT. But I mean, you can't play it now, so unlucky. The bit that made me shit myself the most, more than anything, I mean, and it wasn't a jump scare, and it was pure psych stuff. There's a bit where you're kind of strolling down the corridor, and is it Mary? Is that the name? The ghost or whatever? Lisa? I can't remember. Anyway, the ghost that's behind you, and you know it's there because you're like, doof. Doof, that's your footsteps, but then you hear like doof 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 doof, and it's like, what is it? Doof doof. Someone's behind me. I don't want to turn around. But obviously you do, and then let that.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's even more perfect because it not only was someone recreated it, but someone's managed to unpackage the original file, so you can actually see where the camera placement of PT was. So you can see that the ghost is always behind you. no matter what. She's always behind you, but when you turn around, she moves around with you. So I love little mods like that because it just shows you how much thought went into it, because at certain points, obviously it's meant to trigger you to turn around, and then she is going to be there. But if you keep on turning around in a circle, you'll never see her, but she's always
like
behind
a dog
you.
Chasing it,
Exactly, yeah.
A jog chasing its tail.
There's always certain trigger points where you go around to something, like whether or not it's the door opening or the sound being made, or when the fridge was hanging from the ceiling and things like that. There's always certain trigger points, but you don't think about that while you're playing it. It's only after you finish it you're like, right, someone's released this, I'm gonna have a look at it. But it's brilliant.
Yeah, I love that stuff. And massive tangent now, but obviously I'm wearing Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts today. We did an event a few weeks back with the team at CI, Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts. Check it out. And the good thing with that sort of stuff, the events team that we work with there take that sort of stuff and put that into real life. So when you do these like zombie experience days where you go out and some people in masks or whatever and makeup scare the shit out of you, run after you, and you think, I'm scared. A lot of them are just that. It's kind of like, I know there's things like Farmageddon and stuff where there'll be zombies just get up in a field and run after you, scare the shit out. Don't get me wrong, I'd fucking love it, but like
Passage to Terror as well, that's one of the most horrifying things I've ever done in my life.
Absolutely. But the good thing with when we've worked with those teams that do those events in the past, and you can see it, and they're like, okay, well, the event we did was in an abandoned prison, but they essentially just smashed through shitloads of walls to make it so, okay, well, it all works as it does. We can make them walk around down a corridor. The thing with down a corridor is you go down the corridor and there's rooms and stuff. So if they go into rooms, they can get scared. If they don't, they walk past it. So what they did was they built blockages and they smashed through walls so that you had to go in their pre-planned route. And the reasoning for that is because they can make bottlenecks, so they know that they're steering you to behave in a certain way. And seeing that level of game direction in PT or in a real life thing, I love how you can hack someone's mind so clearly.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, what we should have done with that event stuff, because it was amazing, it was absolutely amazing, but they didn't get to witness it at night. Now, I had to do both the runs at night because you made me do the Tunnel of Death.
I didn't make
on the last day. On the last day, you was like, right, get him in there. You came to the doors. Did you even have a gun to try and take me out?
No. I was just there ready to film it. But no, I
didn't get 2 yards. I literally didn't get 2 yards.
The Tunnel of Death, we did an event and it was like airsoft, so you kind of walking through. Imagine any game, so be it Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts, you start off at the game and there's loads of grunts that you've got to take out on the way through.
He said grunts.
Yeah, none of those words. Grunts. So loads of bad guys that you've got to take out. And these are real life people, obviously, acting, walking around. One of them was sat in a toilet. Two of them are talking to each other about, hey, Victor, you got a cigarette? And stuff like that. Wonderful Russian accent, by the way. So, yeah, you go through, and just like you would in a game, the guys ask how difficult you want the AI to be. Do you want it to be easy, medium, or hard? Easy, Victor's guns in his pocket and he pulls it out the wrong way or whatever. It's probably not that easy, but hard. They understand that you're there, they're going to come looking for you, you've got less ammo and things like that. But Bibby, being Bibby, Captain Beard over here, was like, it was kind of like Hercules. I mean, with his full beard, it feels like he's like, I'm full strength.
Absolutely.
It was like, I'd love to go through again, proper hard. So obviously, these guys who have been kind of biting the bullet, not quite literally, but all day wanting to shoot people as they're coming through, but we had influencers there. We wanted them to get through the mission and things like that. So they were kind of like, I'm shooting near you, but not at you. And Bibby was like, yeah, I want to do it properly. I want like extreme difficulty. So it was like red rag to a bull kind of thing. So he's saying I pushed him into it. I mean, don't get me wrong. He full on went into it. I mean, I may have shown a few extra red rags.
I must have had about 6 grenades thrown at me, flash grenades. I had 2 magazines which had about 10 bullets in each. And I was like, this is not going to get anywhere close. It's like, right, if you go to this room at the end of the corridor, you'll find a gun on the floor. You'll be able to take that. It's an assault rifle. It's got 4 clips. Nice one. Go around the corner, get shot 3 times. Great stuff. Start shooting back. I managed to clip someone in the underneath the eye. Yeah, that was a good shot, but there was no way I was ever going to clear that. They said I was only the second person ever to want to be able to do that. And I'm glad I did it, but there was no way in God's green earth I would have been able to finish that.
Oh, it
was set up for me to fail, but if I'd have done it during the day where there was loads of light coming through, because I couldn't see anything. Like, I had a flashlight in the front of me going, but if I flash that, they know where I am, and there's a lot more of them than there are me.
It was funny though, because there was literally about 10 blokes. Like, Bibby's got a pistol. They're all like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the final scene of Predator kind of thing. Oh no, final scene of Predator, he had a stick. Okay, you get what I'm saying. And they were all like going for him, and I was like, make sure you get some, grenades and flashes and things like that. And they were like, yeah. And anyway, as one of them was walking out, so we walked out of like one room where we were kind of stationed, and then there was a separate wing of the prison where we actually had the event. As we were walking over, I saw this guy with this grenade, and it was like literally like this. It sat there like that, and he was going, just paid my own money on that, but it's going to be worth it.
So as soon as it hits the floor, they all go bang, all these BBs, and it's just horrendous. Like, I was getting worried walking up there because I seen a guy with 3 magazines in his hand and a massive compression gas canister, because these are all like high velocity BBs that are being pushed. They're all done by gas canisters, so he's like, psst, extra bit of gas in there so it comes out even more hard. I'm like, no worries, mate.
Did you see the guy that had like glow in the dark fluorescent BBs?
Yeah, I saw them as it was firing towards my face. At least I could see them.
Oh, it was badass. Anyway, so if you want to shoot Bibby, then please feel free to subscribe to Ice Cream Uploads. All of the money from subscriptions will be going to the Kill Bibby Quickly Fund. But yes, that was a massive tangent from Hideo Kojima.
Absolutely.
Getting back into horror games. And I kind of touched on this next news story already briefly. If you missed it, then don't worry, we got you covered. Actually, can I do this?
You can in one.
I was just going to bring that on screen. Yeah. I didn't know whether the nameplates worked in every view, but there we go. My name is Graham Day, and this is Mr. Bibby at We've Got Bibby on Twitter. We've covered Google Stadia on Ice Cream Uploads quite a bit, and it's one of those bittersweet things. It's bittersweet because we are quite nasty about it, not because we want to be, just because we're disappointed massively.
Absolutely.
We believe in the technology, that streaming technology, and streaming tech will definitely be a thing of the future. And it was Google's confidence in their product, in what Stadia could bring to the market, that made us think, ooh.
Nah.
So we've obviously pre-ordered Google Stadia. I don't know if it's still down here.
No, I took it back up.
So we've got a Founders Edition in the Ice Cream Flood studio. Bibby showed you guys last week. It doesn't play very well for us at all. Like, pretty much lag every minute. Mm-hmm. I mean, frame rate drops, all the issues that you can see. Just Google it, you'll find those.
We've decent internet, I might add, as well. We've got fibre, 300 meg download, like 150 meg upload, more than capable of being able to run these games.
Yeah, absolutely. So the latency issues aren't necessarily anything to do with connection. It's the service, it's the hardware, and everything around it. Anyway, fast forward through all of that, and we know that there's issues, and they're saying they're going to get better, and the service is going to keep up being improved, and it's fine. Okay, we know that this software stuff, but you've got the hardware now. Mm-hmm. You've got the cool controller, you've got your Chromecast Ultras, and everything's there, and all that's going to happen is going to get better because you've got the hardware, and that's cool. It's the software that needs to get up. The hardware is cool? That almost sounds like a really good statement. But then, if we get into our next article, Google Stadia's users complain of extremely hot Chromecast Ultras. This is once again by Vikki Blake at Eurogamer, and this, Bibby was sending me some images the other day which just were absolutely laughable. We'll hopefully have them summarised as we go down into the article, but I'll continue. Actually, a tagline: you can't tell me that the problem doesn't exist when I clearly experienced it. I wonder if that's an interesting tagline. I wonder if that's within the article. Anyway, some early adopters of Google's video game streaming service Stadia are reporting that Chromecast Ultra devices are becoming extremely hot, forcing the system to shut down mid-game without saving their process. I was in the middle of a fight in Destiny 2 when suddenly my Chromecast died and lost connectivity to the network, wrote Reddit user Armadean7479 in the Stadia subreddit. Thanks, comic book. I went to unplug it from the power and it was extremely hot. Has anyone else experienced overheating with the new Chromecast Ultras that come with the Founders Edition? I hadn't seen other posts about that. Thanks for bringing this to our attention, replied Grace, a Google representative. We know any sort of heat on a device can be worrisome, but we can confirm that there is no thermal overheating issue with the Chromecast Ultra. During normal usage, like watching cat videos on YouTube, banter, the surface of the device may get warm to the touch, but this is working as designed. The team has done extensive testing on the hardware, services, and games. This includes tests of long Stadia play and video sessions, and have not seen thermal shutdown problems. Users remain unconvinced, however. I mean, just want to jump in. That would be your absolute standard response. Yeah. The first person on the internet goes, "Oh, you got no, mate. It's fine. It's fine." I mean, you kind of have to do that. So, not taking anything from that. She's saying what you'd expect to say. Job's done. So, mine has not successfully run a game on the Chromecast longer than 10 minutes before it shuts down from overheating, said Ryotech. Clearly, your supportive customers who paid for the launch of new tech are having issues, and your fireback with denial of an and your. Oh, okay, this is someone's words on the internet, so it's obviously not a PR thing. And your fireback with denial of an issue. This is not how you convince people to stay and trust purchasing things from you. Nobody's perfect. Things slip through. Maybe a bad batch of Chromecast Ultras from factory. Whatever it is, acknowledge there is an issue and fix it. I want to point out that when it's working, Stadia works wonderfully, and I want it to succeed, original poster Armadean7479 replied. That said, you can't tell me that the problem doesn't exist when I clearly experienced it, and other users are stating this is a Chromecast Ultra issue that predates Stadia. It's literally to the point where people have had to come up with their own homemade heat sinks. What? So, recap. People have Googled Stadia. Google Stadia has had a few issues, some saying it works really well. However, it's now getting to the point where the Chromecast Ultras are overheating so much that people are manufacturing their own heat sinks to take the heat away from the devices themselves. You're going to find the images.
I most certainly am, yeah.
So fair enough. You can understand, like his Armadean said there. I can't find the actual wording. I've read it out. He's basically saying maybe a dodgy batch has slipped through.
I don't think anyone's ready for this. Those of you that are watching this live, get ready to have your mind blown.
Are you ready? You ready for this? Yay! Look at how cool that hardware is. I'm so excited to get a Chromecast Ultra.
Let me see if I can find the next picture. It was in this thread. That absolutely made me crease. But yeah, it just looks like a little piece of Lego. So there we go. It looks like a shower head.
Oh my god. Shower head or a hairdryer. That is shocking. But yeah, jumping back to the article. We're back. We got back with news. Mine is extremely hot and shut off after playing about 20 minutes. Now it won't even connect to my home account, said ULTV336, while X-HeavygunX added, mine gets extremely hot to the touch, also just from watching 4K Netflix or playing Stadia. Last night I was worried it was going to catch fire because it scared my wife when she accidentally touched it, so I unplugged it as fast as I could. At the time of writing, Google has not returned to the thread to offer any further support or advice. Is there a point to Stadia right now? I'm not sure there is. Wes mused recently, wondering if Stadia's bizarre business model means it's swimming upstream at launch. That's Eurogamer referencing Wes Yinpool. Yeah, that's basically a link in an article within there if you're on podcast services. That's why it's such a stupid sentence to read out loud. Basically they're saying, there's an article there where you can see there's a point for it. Anyway, certainly, I'm struggling to work out who it's for at launch. Stadia is great if you really want to play last year's Tomb Raider right now, but it feels niche because on Stadia, last year's Tomb Raider costs £50. Bam. It's kind of a damning final line, but
absolutely.
But
I'm just going to touch on this very quickly. When I was setting this up with Lee upstairs, after about 10 minutes, it was red hot, and I mentioned that to him because we couldn't get it to connect to his phone. So, as anyone ever does that has worked in tech, you turn it off. Absolutely. But I had to unplug it at this point because it's just like a macro USB that went underneath. So I did that and I nearly put my fingers off. It is red hot, because it's been plugged in. We probably should have left it plugged in over the weekend, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it's going to explode, but you never know.
The thing is, though,
it's red hot.
That, even having to say that sentence, I don't think we should have left it in over the weekend. I mean, that's from our perspective, as we don't want the whole place to burn down. But imagine releasing the future of streaming tech. And also, we've burnt your house down. I mean, you can use it and it's wonderful and it's great and everything, but it'll burn your house down. Sounds like that Darren Brown thing where he hypnotised the guy playing a zombie arcade game and took him to a warehouse with actors to make him think it was real life and he was the character in the game. Not seen that, but that sounds badass. Man beats other man to death thinking it's an arcade game. Hello, humans of England, says Aimbot Christian. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, good evening. Actually, it's late for you in the land down under. How's tricks? Sprints coming along nice? I mean, did I say sprints or did I say squats last time?
You said squats.
So yeah, are the sprints coming along nice? There we go, yeah.
Don't do the same thing more than once.
Yeah, you got to work it around. You got to keep the whole system going. If you want to take KSI down, then you got to keep up with that. And if that makes no sense to you, then it makes no sense to many people. But you can find it out in previous editions of The Scoop, which you can find out on YouTube and on podcast services. We'll have all the links on social media. Just search for Ice Cream Uploads. Indeed, it is evening 10 PM almost. Did weight bearing today, fellas. Nice one. Keep up. And we want to see some crunches as well, you know. a bit curls as well. You've got to keep the arms going. But yeah, imagine that. So we're gonna shit all over Stadia again. That's all we can do because there's nothing good coming out of it. But imagine doing what we did. Google Stadia, announce, presentation, big huge stage fanfare. April, May, whatever it was, 2019. So we're going back many months, 6 months or whatever it was. We see it and go, yeah, boy, crisp high five. And then let's pre-order that bad boy. I want a Founders Edition. So you pre-order it on the day of the announcement. The product launches on the 19th. And then you don't get it on the launch day because, you know, just because you didn't order it in time on the launch day. 6 months later, so we get it late. Not only did we get it late, we can't invite any of our friends because our friend pass things don't come for another 2 weeks.
Couldn't get the name that we wanted quick enough because they didn't send the emails out in the order that they should have sent them out in.
Yeah, they just sent. So our designated username, the reason we wanted to buy it is gone, so we can't get that. Was that for us, or is that just a...
No, that was just a general... We managed to get jelly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we did. Thank fuck for that. But, yeah, so you've not got your console on launch day when you bought it 6 months early, as soon as you could. You've not got the ability to bring your friends into the game. Your friends don't have it. They're playing it on their own Chromecast Ultras, but they can't play on that because it's not up to date. There's no fucking trophies and all the rest of the shit. But you're thinking, do you know what? I've got it. I didn't buy it for my friends. I bought it for me, and yeah, I didn't buy it to have. I didn't want to be Graham Day 1 on but I am now because, you know, Graham Day got there before me. The git. But it's fine. I can sit down. I can sit there and play my game. And bloody hell, there's the heating on. It's getting quite warm in this house. As your little Chromecast Ultra, you have to build what looks like some sort of stupid Hogwarts Lego set on top of it. It's how can you get it so wrong? Yeah, fair enough. If it's just a small dodgy batch, it happens. But it's the all or nothing. No, there is no problem. It's all fine. We tested it and it doesn't exist. Meanwhile, you sat there with a ball of fire. Oh, this isn't real. And then to just completely ignore it completely after that. No.
Well, I mentioned on Friday because I actually got access to the xCloud on Xbox. We posted a tweet out the weekend. This camera posted a tweet out on Friday to say that I was going to test xCloud this weekend, and I did a very small test on it. I played it a little bit in the office on Friday on our Wi-Fi here, just to make sure that I can get a good broad understanding of if it's the Wi-Fi here, is it the Wi-Fi at home. I can also use my 4G, but yeah, it's xCloud. As a because it's in beta, I got access to tons of games like Borderlands 2 pre-sequel, Gears 5. I'm sure Halo 4 was on there, so you could pretty much, you didn't have to pay for any of this. I just log in with my normal Xbox account and I'm able to play it, and it ran kind of well, shall we say. So I tried playing Killer Instinct on it. Which is obviously the fighting game that
Does it still got Killer Instinct?
Yeah, it does at the beginning. Yeah. So that played all right on 4G and Wi-Fi here. Gears 5, few frame rate drops in that, but at home it was kind of the same. So it's not just it's not just using the Internet Air or 4G. It was the same across the board. So again, it's not that I don't think they're marketing it as what Google Stadia have marketed theirs as. They're launching theirs out to a few people on certain Android devices.
Yeah, just to as you mentioned in that, there was an article shared by VG247 earlier on. We don't have it on screen, but one comment to mention that is the original story was basically saying that Microsoft isn't currently working on anything specific for xCloud. They're trying to get things that exist already and move those over to xCloud, but they aren't working on specific xCloud only titles yet. So that article was then updated this morning. So content coming to Project xCloud in the future will also be available on console, Microsoft have clarified, and this is the update. Following the publication of this story, Microsoft reached out to clarify that it has no plans for xCloud exclusive content. But the bit that you would touch on there is then this is their comment from a Microsoft spokesperson. We're very early in the multi-year journey for Project xCloud, which is currently in public preview. So very early in a multi-year journey, which is in public preview. That's worlds away from what Google Stadia was saying. So yeah, absolutely. And that is the difference, is by saying that you are
it's their marketing message, isn't it? It's like Google Stadia will come out like you said before, balls out, this is it, this is us, we're not going to have an open beta, we're not going to have an early access, this is us, it's going to have, as soon as it releases, you're good to go, everything should be working as properly. And then closer they got to the release, they started shaving more things off, and we're still in a position where something that's in beta, i.e. xCloud, seems to be running a little bit better. They're offering a lot more. I haven't had to pay for anything on there. I've literally just logged in, I signed up, I logged in, used my credentials, and then I'm good to go. I literally used my phone, tethered an Xbox One controller up to it, and I'm good to go.
But did you have a built-in fireplace?
I did not, and I've just seen Alpy put heating's a bit shit at mine, so it might be a sound investment. So there you go, you got a nice little radiator behind your TV.
So you're comment about the messaging from xCloud. They go on to say, we're investigating a variety of new capabilities made possible by the cloud. However, we remain committed to an approach with game streaming that is complementary to console and have no plans for cloud exclusive content at this time, which is exactly it. Yeah, all right, then we're doing something pretty cool. You can play some games, you can help us by signing up to the beta if you've got the right devices and so on. It's not going to be flawless. We're not offering you anything specifically new, and we're not looking to replace console gaming. At the moment, we're just trying to see how we can make it better and have a go. Whereas Google Stadia is like 200-ish quid and you get fuck off. Yeah,
all the stuff that we promised you, nah mate.
So yeah, I mean, I am being shit to it. I know I am, and like I said before, it's purely because I expected so much more from Stadia, and
well, we actually put our money where our mouths are, and as a company, and tried to invest in this early doors. We actually got 2 for the company, so yeah, we have backed it. It's just not in a position where we think that it should be. I know we criticised it a lot leading up to it, and we criticised it on the day that it came out. But it's not as if we didn't try to get it. It's just that they didn't give it us on the time, so we just had to take everybody else's word for it. We have since tried it. It's not worked as we wanted it to. Our opinion still stands. You've got a long way to go, boys.
And that's exactly it. We have an opinion, and our opinion is based on the fact that we've spent money, as you guys will have done if you've got it. We are consumers. We've paid for a couple of Google Stadias. We've got what we should probably call the Flounders edition, because my God, they've screwed that up. And yeah, I mean, we want to be open about it, so we're not trying to be biased towards it. We're not under any sort of contract or sponsorship from them, so we're not held to anything, and we're just being honest in the fact that it's just a terrible format for gaming in its current guise. Hopefully they can fix it, and hopefully it's just a bad batch of Chromecast Ultras, and it's not widespread, and everything will work fine, and everyone can high five and that jump slow motion, but it's not there yet. So yeah, keep trying, boys. But as we move on away from the xCloud kicking, back once again with the Renegade Master. Yeah. To Eurogamer. This is Matt Wales this time. States. Oh, bring it on screen. No, that's the same camera. They'll try again. There you go.
1 second.
Oh, that was us on screen. As Baby's bringing it up, let's jump back through the chats. Good morning, Guns Good Taku. Been a while since we had the puns in the chat. How the hell are you doing? Tell you what, I'm going to have a quick scan. I'm going to pick one. You did better before. I mean, the Titanic one. Yeah, if you want to see the comments that Guns Guntaku is, then feel free to jump in on Twitch, and if you check that, they'll be saved on the broadcast. But what's invisible and smells like carrots?
Rabbit farts.
Correct. Yes. What
Nailed
did
it.
one snowman say to the other?
Go on.
Smells like carrots.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So Guns Guntaku. I mean, the first time around,
Nailed it. Last week. Nailed it.
But we'll jump back into the news. As you can see, it's on screen there anyway. Matt Wales for Eurogamer reports that State of Decay 2's multiplayer zombie survival heading to Steam next year, and it will support Xbox Live crossplay. Developer Undead Labs' multiplayer zombie survival sequel State of Decay 2 is, after a year and a half of Windows 10 Store exclusivity on PC, heading to Steam early next year. Originally released in 2018, State of Decay 2 aimed to improve on everything that fans loved about its surprisingly popular forebear. However, according to Eurogamer, contributor Edwin Evans-Thirlwall at launch, it frequently struggled to achieve those goals. State of Decay 2 is a poor return on the scruffy promise of its predecessor, said Edwin in his review. It tantalises with the thought of ragged, everyday heroes pooling their myriad talents to survive, only to quantify and busy work all that out of existence. However, despite a less than stellar critical reception, State of Decay 2 still managed to draw the crowds, with Microsoft's most recent figures announced in August revealing the player base to be around 5 million strong. Its continued popularity has enabled Undead Labs to expand and improve on its rocky launch, so Edwin's initial reservations may no longer apply. Undead Labs is yet to announce a firm release date for State of Decay 2 on Steam, but it has confirmed that Xbox Live crossplay will be supported, enabling up to 4 co-op pals to band together regardless of whether they're on Steam, Windows 10 or Xbox One. Additional details will be shared in a special live stream. Screen? Yes, it's all the State of Decay stuff. On Mixer, Twitch and YouTube next Monday the 25th of November. That's today at 11 PM UK time or 3 PM PT, so 11 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, State of Decay 2's Steam page is now live, so do feel free to admire its soothing blue hues while Undead Labs prepares to reveal more. Do you know what? It's quite. I know it's not something I say very often, but I own this game and I've never played it.
I don't own this game, but I actually started playing the first one again last night. Funnily enough, while me and Alpy was both online, so I'm looking forward to playing this so I can get it in my Steam library now. Not that that's ever deterred me from getting a game before, because it's not in one single launcher. But I imagine it's going to be a little bit cheaper. Now, I managed to pick up the first one for about £4 off CD Keys for the Game of the Year edition. And I actually really enjoyed it, but I got to a point last night where I logged in and I had no idea what I'd done previously, so it was just a case of do a start again. But yeah, I like the fact that they've got co-op in this one, so you can go and play with your friends, and it's even better that they've done the cross-play thing, so Windows 10, Steam and Xbox One, because I think it's in the Games Pass as well, so you'll be able to play on multiple different consoles. But yeah, I am probably going to pick this one up, especially if Alped decides to start playing it again. Yeah. It's a good move again. But I didn't realise that it was an exclusive. But it took me so long to even play the first one. I think it's been out since like 2008 on Xbox, the original 360. It was out for a long time. I just never got round to playing it.
Yeah,
but I got on PC. It's good.
I never got round to playing the first one, and I can't remember who it was actually. It might have been. I do think I want any names, but someone basically on Twitter had a key for the game and said, "Does anybody want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, do you know what? I'll give it a try." So got it, downloaded it, and installed it, and then life happened, and as with a lot of my games, so I haven't ever tried it. But I do remember seeing a lot of initial positivity around State of Decay 2, but then I think that's maybe what was it Edwin saying. It tantalises with the thought of raggedy everyday heroes pooling their myriad talents to survive. So that's the cool bit. Oh yeah, we're all badasses. We kill the zombies and we're going to lay it. And then only to quantify and busy work all that out of existence. And I think that's the bit where I kind of then saw everyone going, I've just got to make walls and build loads of crops and shit like that. And it's kind of like almost like a theme park-esque roller coaster tycoon. Ooh, you've got to keep planting your crops and building your walls and fending off your zombies and stuff. So you're not actually. It kind of becomes in the same way that The Walking Dead was like, oh my god, there's zombies and get back in the house, Carl, and all that stuff. And then the end of it, you've just got like, oh my god, there's a zombie standing on my carrots. So,
but you see that's kind of what I liked about the way that the second one was going to go, because you could have a save with your friends and then save for yourself. So when you'd logged in with your friends, you'd have your little town that you've built a fortress around it. You'd have your little watchtower. You'd be able to scout out around you. Two of you would be able to go out and salvage new weapons, new bullets, new meds and stuff like that to bring back to your place. You just clear house by house and go back and do stuff. I like the thought of doing that, but I don't think you had the option in the first one to be able to do it. So obviously, if people wanted to come and play this one, then feel free to hit me up. I will definitely get this one when it comes out on Steam. But yeah, it's I like games like that where you have to go outside. There's a game called Dead Frontier 2 that I actually streamed on the channel for quite a while. Played it for 2 or 3 months straight, which is pretty much like that. You could go around. I think there was me, Shogun, Precision, and Jordan, who used to work here. All 4 of us used to go out and go to these different hospitals and pick up the keys, pick up weapons, pick up bullets and stuff like that, bring them back to the depot. It was very much like that, but I think obviously this is a lot more flushed out than that is, because that was more of an MMO than anything.
Yeah, see, I do like that. I mean, having never played it and not really knowing what it was about, I just assumed it was just going to be kind of like, waves or whatever your standard zombie metric kind of missions are. But I like the idea of, if you are playing that arable farmer making crops, there's zombies outside the wall, but I'm planting my carrots and stuff. If you're doing that bit, but then you're thinking, oh shit, I need some more chemicals and fertilizers and stuff like that, and then having to go out and do the Walking Dead-esque, okay, 3 of you jump in and pick up, go out, and 2 of you can take out the zombies while 1 of you breaks in and disables the alarm, something that sort of stuff. I think it's quite cool then, because that's when you're starting to branch away from farming simulator and Walking Dead or the horde mode that you get in Undead Nightmare in a COD, but then you bringing in the survival element. Then it's like, okay, you've got missions and you've got tasks and you've got to do your survival bit, you've got to tick the boxes and so on. I think that, I didn't realise it had that sort of elements of it. As that in it, that's pretty cool for me.
Yeah, I like the team games like that, where you're able to go and just branch out from just killing, kill, get a key, open a door, kill. The fact that you've got a town to look after. Like when I logged into the first one last night, I've said I don't know where the story is, because I've not played it for so long, I've completely forgotten. But my township itself, the fear level was high. So obviously, because I've not fortified the base, I've not planted what I needed to do. I didn't. I must have gone out on a mission and ended up 2 of my people from the town ended up dying. So like everyone's on high alert at the moment, like the fear's there because I've not looked after them, kind of thing. So yeah, if there's 4 of you that are playing it, and you're able to have a save between you all, and you have to try and make the town feel welcome, you have to board windows up and you have to build stuff, then yeah, it's definitely a game that I want to play. And if there's anyone in the chat that actually wants to pick this up when it comes out, then feel free. We'll definitely hit some streaming stuff up.
That kind of gives me a reason to turn on the Xbox then. If I download it, if you're playing it live on twitch.tv/icecreamuploads, and maybe you've got Alpi or someone playing along, and then I'm sat there in my living room, Xbox hooked up to the TV, just chilling out, and we're doing... I keep wanting to say drug runs because, like, I've said drugstore in my mind now. So we're drug running. Yeah, exactly. Make some meth. So yeah, that kind of like pushes it up to the next sort of level then for me. So yeah.
Well, 2019, mate. Me and him were playing it on PC. You're playing it in the front room on your Xbox. Do you know what I mean?
2029 living.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're sat there all nice and warm with a few Stadias around us, just keeping the house nice.
Hey, for 150 quid for an eating bill, it's not bad, is it? That is officially the last news article we've got. However, did we want to go into a few Black Friday? I mean, I've got something to straight off the bat for Black Friday. Obviously, it is Black Friday week leading up to the obviously Friday. But as Amazon likes to make money, they actually started theirs last Friday with the bigger deals coming towards the end of the week. However, there is a rumour at the moment. It's this camera. There is a rumour at the moment to say that on Thursday, Currys, PC World, Amazon, Argos and Game, all 5 of those will be releasing their Black Friday console bundle deals, including big discounts on the games and peripherals that go with them. So definitely keep an eye out from Wednesday. They say it's Thursday, but you never know when these rumours come out. So from Wednesday, keep an eye on all 5 of those. Most of them, actually, if you was to buy it now and then they actually discounted it, you'd be able to get the difference back in money. And that was, I think it was Amazon or Game, but put that out as one of their big selling,
which basically means that it's like having the ones to watch in FIFA. You get it now, but it's going to get better as it goes along, kind of thing. It's that sort of mindset. You won't lose out by buying now, which is good. Which
apart from if they actually don't go in the sale and you just spend £300 on
it. But I mean, I hope that Amazon don't reduce any Samsung TVs because I may have purchased one last night. We want a TV on the wall in the kitchen, Sky Q mini box and everything, all hooked up behind it, all nice and wall mounted and everything. So we bought only just a Series 7 32-inch Samsung TV. So what we've got in the living room, but down to 32 inches.
Is that for like when you're cooking in the kitchen and stuff like that?
Or sat at the table, then it'll be on the wall then. And it was like 200 quid, 230 quid, something like that. And if that goes down now, like, fucking yeah. But it was pretty cheap in the Black Friday-ish anyway, so hopefully it doesn't go again, because nobody ever buys a 32-inch TV anymore. Everyone just like, I want a 72-inch TV.
So in fact, I actually spend a lot more time looking at my smaller screens, which is basically my PC. Monitor, than I do in the front room on the big TV. So yeah, it annoys me. I was speaking to Lee about this morning. It annoys me that places like Game and that wait for this one day a year to be able to put it out. Like, how they still make money throughout the rest of the year is absolutely beyond me. Especially, I'm talking about places like Game, not places like PC World that sell absolutely everything.
Yeah.
But the wait for this one day a year to make all of their money. Obviously, leading to Christmas.
You get it, like, there's key days, so you'll get, obviously, I mean, things like Amazon obviously have Prime Day in the summer, but then you get Black Friday, and then you'll get the Boxing Day or January sales. But then, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same. Like, around these times, it's like, well, why am I going to spend... one thing I'm a big fan of is Philips Hue lighting. Fake baby, says Precision. That's not baby. This is baby.
No, this is baby. I got told that I wasn't allowed to have any B's in my name today because it stands for beard, so we're just called E.
No, we'll just have to cut, like, the little baby in the jars are called BBs. So you're now BB. You got to change your name, not your rat, but your name on Twitter to BB.
Yeah.
Anyway, Philips Hue lighting. I mean, I'm kind of slowly changing my whole house to that, but that's the kind of thing that's looking good in the house at the moment, is the fact that Philips Hue lighting is like, okay, 50, 60 quid or whatever for a strip light. Suddenly 40 quid, and it's like, that's a big drop, is that? I mean, granted, it's expensive when you pay compared to something else, but you're paying for the BMWs, the Audis of the light world kind of thing. So, yeah, that sort of stuff I'm definitely on board with. I mean, don't need any console stuff at this point in time, but you'd think they'd be going in on it, because you've got things like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One coming to the end of their product cycle. Market saturation. The only way you're going to get people now, if they've not got it at this point, then giving them some sort of deal. So if you don't have a PS4 or a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X or whatever, now is probably going to be the week that kind of like gives you, or the start of that period. So you'll get it Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then you'll probably get some Christmas sales and stuff. But from now, I expect the prices to be up and down, but hitting very lowly. Thank you very much for the host, Precision. It's like throwing paint on the Mona Lisa. It's actually taking paint off the Mona Lisa. All the colour's gone.
Very quickly, we'll go over it again. I've got a little electric shaver. It's got 10 different settings on. I have mine on setting 4 when I go to trim my beard usually. However, it has to be on setting 1 to fit into the packet. So when I pulled it out of the packet, I put it on my face, didn't change it to setting 4, so I ended up just like... So what I tried to get rid of the neck beard and just keep it so that it was on my face. However, I'd gone too far up my cheek, so like half a beard there. I was like, this needs to go. So yeah, I'm baby till at least Friday when it starts to come back through. And I can guarantee that I'm going to have a better beard than you, Luke, by the end of the week, because you've been growing yours out from November.
Oh.
Shots fired, but yeah, I just want to stay like this for the rest of the week.
But back away from the beard, because one thing I did want to mention, because I've mentioned it to you off stream, is I need a PS4 Pro, because I bought a PS4 about 6 months ago, and it's just fucking, it's like a Google Stadia. Yeah, it is. I take it back to Argos. It was like on sale on local Argos. So I was like, yeah, boy. So I got that. However, anyway, my PS4 Pro is like a Google Stadia at the moment, just overheating. Like
just overheating.
Yeah, I need to build like a Lego city of heat.
I've got a load of Lego at home. You can put that on top.
But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We've been through the news. A very, very quiet news week, as you'd kind of expect. Let's go front cam. Very quiet news week, as you'd expect from the games industry. We've had the likes of the Modern Warfares and things hitting already. We've had all of the sports games hitting earlier in the year, and as we approach American Thanksgiving week, I believe that's this Thursday, ahead of Black Friday. So as you kind of get, everything kind of slows down. You might get a few more things happening in November. Usually updates, not so many games coming out in December, should I say. Not so many games coming out in December. But yeah, obviously Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts came out on Friday, so there's nothing to talk about. Everything's here. I may be wearing, not that you can tell because it's camouflage, but believing my word that I am wearing a Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts today. Loving the hoodie, Graham. Impressed by the game too. Lots of fun. Nice. nice. It's good. It could be worse. In high school, my dad cut my hair with clippers and the guy came off twice. True story. The worst thing is, I remember seeing as well my dad cutting. For everyone that doesn't know, Fatman Dave 8472 is my brother. So that my dad cutting my brother's hair, doing everything, and then obviously taking the guard off to do all the edges, seeing a bit on the top and going. And then David was like, number one all the way over kind of thing.
You kind of got no choice. You have to commit then, don't you?
I may have had the same. I remember also my mum cutting my hair and just never cutting anyone's hair before or again, because it was kind of like, oh, they're just going to go around your ear. You got someone's ear usually goes like round the ear. Mine was like, it was like one of those heat sinks. So yeah, my mum doesn't cut my hair.
You'll end up looking like Brock by the end of it, just a big spikes in your hair.
Eyes like that as well. Loving the hoodie. I've done that one already. Hashtag SGW contract, says Dad and Lad Gaming. Have you played it?
Yes, I seen it. I joined. I give up already. I seen a clip of him on Twitter this weekend. I don't know what mask it was. I couldn't quite tell because Twitter's videos are shit. But he pulled out a mask from somewhere and he said, "Oh, channeling me in a shroud." Like missed his first 4 shots, and then eventually ended up getting it. It proper tickled.
First try.
It proper tickled me.
What was it? I'm looking at Leroy's comment. Graham is representing today. GG. Yeah. No, I went with Dints for 3 months. I do remember that, and I remember we have a school photo as well where David had like a tuft of hair. That it was like the whole haircut. When I say tuft, it was like probably about 8 strands of hair, but they were like that long. And you look at the top of his head. There's a line where the head, like it's almost like someone with a full head of hair having just a very small comb over on the top. So yeah, Graham is here. Is the floating head that you can see. Morning, Grumpy. How's things, Neil? You good? We, however, because you just arrived, are going to leave. That's it. That's
absolutely.
Bye. No, we are wrapping things up for Monday's Scoop. Obviously, we will be back with more fun, thoughts, facts, and other things that begin with a F.
Because some more news stories.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a slow news week. Do you know what? Actually, you guys, you have a very, very good job. I mean, Leroy does it pretty often, but if you have any news that you see popping up, things you want us to discuss, feel free to send them at us on social media. At Ice Cream Uploads across the board. Twitter is usually a good way to go. So if you see anything that you want us to discuss, then please feel free to throw it at us, and we might be able to add it into our agenda tomorrow, because at the moment there's not much to talk about. Slow news week in the games industry. But despite that, we will be back anyway. 10 a.m. every day this week. Myself and
Very nice.
We will be back every single day bringing you our thoughts on the games industry news from the games industry and beyond. Josie will be in, I believe, as well on Tuesday and Wednesday, playing a little bit more Death Stranding. So if you've heard us talking about it and you want to see a little bit more, then feel free to jump in then. If not, we will be back tomorrow as I'm trying to find the end slate before I bring things up. Anything you want to add before we close the show out, babe?
Nothing today, mate.
So from myself, and actually let's come off that, and baby have yourselves a very lovely day, and until then, stay frosty.